Imagine making a name for yourself within a little niche on YouTube in a community that wishes, and sometimes fails, to pride themselves on honesty, holding themselves accountable, while also doing the same for the multitudes of people they make content on the daily. You make great content diving into the intricacies of internet drama and some popular personalities that you end up accumulating a following that deeply respects you and deems you as not necessarily an authority figure, but someone with a commanding presence in this said niche. You have grown relatively fast over a few months because of how well received your content is, and you gained many also well-respected connections to other figureheads in this community, so to speak. But what happens when you let your hubris gain the controls of your growing YouTube career and single-handedly damage your reputation not once, not even twice, but 3 separate times, 2 of which seem to follow a weird fixation you have with relationships between people of a certain age group, and the need to try to absolve yourself in the most unnecessarily convoluted ways possible, because said hubris absolutely refuses to see it as the maker of its own problems. Well, let's talk about that when we go over one such subject, John Swan. Fowl turned foul.
Did anyone ever expect this stupid, inconsequential drama to get to career-ending heights?
John Swan got caught lying again in yet another controversy.
Diego, you're a little fucking scumbag, Reese, and I hope, Diego, I hope all this shit catches up to you when the music is going to. I promise you it will. And Diego, if you want to learn about blackballing is, I will make sure you know, okay? I will make sure you know. Remember you had that disagreement about Aiden supposedly blackballing you? Diego, I will show you what real blackballing looks like. Because I will make sure no one ever works in any serious capacity ever again. I hope you know that. You're untrustworthy, you're a snake, and I hope you never get success in any legitimate way. Have a good day, guys.
Well, before we get to his inevitable fall, let's start with his rise. John has been making content for some time, mostly a couple poopy posts, and tried his hand at making video essays and docs, soon creating his original video on Susie Lou on April 5th of 2020, though we see the re-uploaded version a few days later due to him violating the community guidelines on harassment and bullying. I saw the original video and frankly, the only thing that truly was harassment was calling her boyfriend a certain name that rhymes with buck. I'm not sure why he censored the word forehead, cause I mean, it's pretty big. Probably should have said 5 head to be fair. I kinda have room to talk to, like y'all should have some kind of assumption as to why my afro is so big, aside from covering my eyes. At the time, Susie Lou had been a YouTuber more well known for her elevator music-esque reaction content and her interesting way of getting around copyright strikes. Also, her contradictory and very hypocritical copyright strikes on other content creators using hers in actual fair use manner, mostly because she didn't like the criticism. I vaguely remember what was going on around this time, but I do remember watching this video around when it originally came out, and it was really good. Well researched, well edited, quite a bit of personality. I see why this video was the catalyst to his explosive growth. This was followed up by his videos going in detail on Chris Hansen's illustrious career and downfall. Also, not to mention the Deji triple feature, where he goes into detail of him and his brother having a fallout, and also just Deji not being a great person overall. But, you know, all in all was right with John's world. He grew pretty quickly, gained connections and credibility, right up until he got involved with a relationship that had nothing to do with him, and it's also technically out of his age range of appropriate concern. So let's discuss. So back around December of 2020, there was a situation where some DMs between Pieman, who was at the time 15, and the girl who was 12 at the time leaked, and they were a little spicy. Now, there wasn't anything noteworthy as they were both kids and there wasn't anything explicit being exchanged either between the two, so there was no crime. But of course, John didn't see it that way as he piled on the shame and guilt, having the audacity to say that this action would haunt Pieman for the rest of their life and that they should get off the internet due to their predatory actions towards minors. Nigga, they were a minor too. What the fuck are you on about? Maybe doing all that research and stuff on Chris Hansen had you a little too alert when thinking that someone, specifically a minor, shouldn't be talking to other minors. I think you lost it at that point, and I don't think touching or even smoking grass could help you. Clearly didn't the first time. Then again, I don't think that grass was fully alive. So maybe that was part of the problem. But there's more, as John wanted to make himself seem as though he truly was looking out for them. But saying stuff like this?
It looks
I
really
would want
bad.
them to get laid either by that, because that's really incriminating. And this stuff is gonna haunt you now, forever online.
Is more than enough to send an already socially inept teen to an even worse mental state. Yeah, with all the pressure on them, Pieman made a statement that was along the lines of them creating their last video before ending their own existence. Now, thankfully, they haven't done that. They're in a much more stable place. But could you imagine someone you looked up to hounding you for something that wasn't even wrong? Then on top of that, dealing with their much larger fan base parroting those same garbage sentiments? Sounds very overwhelming, honestly. John Swan has claimed that Pieman not attempting to go through with this action was suicide baiting. Wait a minute. Why does that sound so familiar?
But at the end of the document, he said, I might just upload my next video and then fucking kill myself. And I'm just... It came out later. Okay, well, he didn't... Those weren't genuine. That wasn't a genuine thing. He, literally, turned around and said he's fine. So he tried to weaponize a suicide attempt to try and make us feel bad about him saying he was being attracted to a 12-year-old.
Decided to suicide bait your audience, going off the grid for hours to make your audience worry that you hurt or killed yourself. And guess what? 2 days later, you were back to making tweets again. And she's been doing this for a long time. It's very manipulative, and she's always using her mental health as a pity me card. It's very scummy, and it says a lot about her as a person.
Ugh. Ooh. Dark times. Very dark times. Feigning concern one moment, and then doubling down the next. He couldn't keep a straight story to anyone. But if everyone knew the truth from the beginning, John would have been turned into minced meat right then and there. And looking at the situation, realizing that John was the main adult there, he fumbled this horribly as he acted very immature and insensitive this entire time. Also, if I'm not mistaken, he has still never properly apologized to Pieman for what had happened, because of course he did his absolute damnedest to deflect. Not to mention lying to everyone about talking things out with Pieman to keep people like Willie Mack from exposing him, but this wouldn't be the last time he lied about his involvement in something. But that'll come up later. For now, we get into how one video doc series he made caused him to get harassed by someone because they didn't like him talking about Chris's career fallout. So after all this mess happened, John kinda laid low making his beloved content. He came out with a video going over some of the harassment he's received for talking about Chris's career timeline. Where was the harassment coming from? Well, from one of Chris's working associates who calls themselves Anonymous Gene. Gene has helped Chris Hansen on the Onision case, and I mean helped loosely, as I'm not sure how helpful leaking the phone number, address, and information following the family members close to Onision is, but maybe my morals and inhibitions limit me from seeing the good in doing stuff like that, if there even is any. So how did our little Swan boy get sucked into the harassment? Well, creating and releasing Chris Hansen from TV King to YouTube Conman was all the fuel needed for Gene to start harassing and intimidating John with his own docs if he didn't remove the video. He even tried to copyright strike the video pretending to be Onision, but that surprisingly didn't go well, as Onion Boy himself stepped in to say that he was being impersonated and to not let the strike go through. So then what? Well, I'll let John himself explain what happened to him.
On the 14th of August, I was doxxed by Anonymous Gene. Up to this point, my name had been completely private, but I knew that at some point it would all come out, because all of our tax information in Australia is public. I expected it, and I owned it. To be honest, it didn't bother me too much. Sure, I was annoyed. I wanted to keep it all private, but I guess that's just not possible on the internet. But what I didn't expect is for Gene to start posting my location, my school, and trying to get in contact with former students from my year. This guy went deep into my past to try and find anything he could about me, but he couldn't seem to find anything negative, so he started to make things up. That I was a creep, a Fowl supporter, and various other things. But then something happened that just shook me. Badly. He started to involve my family and my young sister. And it just made me sick.
Now, this was just speculation, as feelings are not fact, but I feel like even though many were still disappointed in John after the Pie Man predicament, people were feeling some empathy and or sympathy for him through the harassment and the subsequent doxing he dealt with. People didn't necessarily forgive him for what happened, but kinda let it go as, yeah, he was a complete ass to a child, but the man doesn't deserve to get doxed. The video talking about what happened to him may have also helped with the "Feel Sorry for the Swan" song going on, but maybe that's just me. But the song soon ended as soon as he got exposed for doing a little trolling as one of the most popular and controversial Minecraft YouTubers to date. Now, I'm sure everyone and their dog knows about this drama, as this was everywhere. This was also, in my opinion, the main thing people held against him at the time more than anything. But just to recap all the ish that happened, back on December 7th, 2019, he made a video doc talking about Minecraft and somehow was able to get an interview with Dream, so that's how they knew each other. But sometime after that, it has been said by Dream that John changed his profile pic and name to Dreams and began trolling people like Harley TBS, talking about a Minecraft sex mod and other childish things. How did he find out? Harley. So Dream then confronted John about it, and what does John say? It wasn't me. It was an autistic 12-year-old kid that did it. Dream didn't believe him, rightfully so, but let it be for about a year until John threw a little shade at Dream's direction in preparation for a video he was working on with his friend Cordwit. A Dream stan then posted it to Reddit. Dream commented, recounting his experience, and for some reason, a post that only got 90 updates got Swan's feathers all in a bunch. It honestly shouldn't have, as it seemed like Dream posted it on his smallest platform. I also wanted to find the post to see if it had gained any additional updates since the last time it was reported, but I am Reddit illiterate, so let's just assume that since all of this has happened, it probably gained a few extra eyes. But all in all, John noticed the Reddit post and blew it up, and I mean that in many ways, on Twitter, and of course, the following events are stuff of absolute lunacy. John kept up his lie of an apparent spectrum mad lad behind all the mess to all his friends. Even they give into their own personal bias because it was unfathomable that John could do anything, as he has always been such a good boy, and who would dare accuse him of any wrongdoing? Y'all know how that song went. Dream made his detective stream, calls got leaked, theories were made, the truth came out, whether or not the initial liar wanted it to. But yeah, it didn't end well for John. This genuine little stupid incident blew up in John's face because he couldn't bring himself to, and these are my words, man the fuck up and own the dumb shit he did. He also made an apology, and I mean that loosely, though since he deletes tweets often, something I will get into later, and after everything he did indeed yeet his Twitter, it's gone with the wind, so to speak. It really does baffle me that one little lie became a divider between the Minecraft and commentary communities. No one could think less of their prospective good boys, and I'm gonna barf if I have to say that John was a good boy one more fucking time. Moving on, we can kinda say that this next event was in a way the last dub John has gotten himself, though the bar was set very, very low. Trying to recount what happened here genuinely feels like a fever dream that I've struggled to put into words, because none of this shit adds up to make any sort of sense. Also, any mention of the following person, I have proactively wiped from my mind so they don't live there rent-free. There are more important things I need to worry about. But let me try to elevate myself to see if it'll help the process. Give me one moment. I don't think it helped very much. Okay. Hold on. Give me a second, I'm dying. Okay. I think we're okay. On with the mess. Let's give a little backstory. Former small YouTuber Kaiwise was quite the scoundrel while still in the short limelight he had. He was one of the major players in a few dramas, and before he ruined everything by being, well, themselves. They were known for being a decent commentator with some sass, though seemed a little too full of himself at times. Since then, they have popped in and out of Twitter existence to argue with people about stuff or trying to make videos again. I don't know more than that or care to. I also apologize for this not being a lot of info, but I don't want to give them any more attention than this, as he doesn't really deserve it. There's my bias on that. So where does John come in? Well, there was a video made by another content creator, Akumu, using some of Kai's videos to debate some hypocrisy he was getting into, saying that using someone's content is fine no matter how much of their content you use when you're commentating or debating their points, but then proceeds to copyright strike Akumu because he didn't like the video or the criticism in it. So John swooped in to educate Kai on copyright abuse and that what he did was wrong, though it ended up becoming a train wreck of a debate.
You mean to tell me, John, that you have absolutely no certifiable background or anything that could even make you a verified source of information to go to about this, and you're weighing in on the situation?
Yeah, just like you strike the guy without knowing anything about law.
I have another question. Okay, so what is illegal about what I did?
I never said what you did was illegal. I actually clarified it wasn't multiple times in the stream. You actually watched.
Twitter, you said that
I clarified that. This is why you watch the fucking stream. I clarified all of it on stream.
Bro, like,
why not?
There's no need. Like, why do you feel the need to sit here and clarify all of this on stream? Why were you unable to do that on Twitter?
Because I fucking hate typing. I fucking hate typing. That's why.
What Kai did was illegal. So was what I did illegal or not? Did I abuse the copyright system or not, John?
I believe you did abuse it. It doesn't make it illegal. Okay, it has to go to court.
John, is that objective?
No, of course it's not. It's my opinion. Everyone gives their opinion on the situation.
So why are you talking about this?
Because I believe that you've abused the copyright system. That's why.
So you cannot say that what I did was objectively illegal, and all you are doing is arguing an opinion.
I never said that. I never said it was objectively. When did I say it was objectively illegal? When did I say that?
Is what I did objectively illegal?
I already told you it can't be illegal unless it goes to court. Actually, this is not even. You're completely going off topic. The first thing that you say when you get in here is Omnia. The first thing you talk about when you get in here is Omnia. Can you shut the fuck up for 1 second? You've been talking for like the whole time here. You're not even giving me a chance to talk. The first thing you come in here when you say is about Omnia. Not even about the topic of the stream. You're talking about Omnia first, right? Then you come and you say, what's your qualifications? When I said in this stream that I'm not a lawyer, okay? I'm not a fucking lawyer. I already said that, okay? That's already been addressed, all right? Then you fucking do that. You don't want to address any of your own points. How about we go over some of your points here, right? So,
go ahead.
All right. So why do you think Akumi's video is not fair use?
Kumu used 4 entire minutes of my video with absolutely no editing.
Why did you use 4 minutes of Peach's video completely unedited in your video on Peach's?
What do you mean completely?
You used
unedited?
4 minutes of completely unedited video.
Hold on, John, because I'm not gonna let you
Here it
pull
is.
that bullshit.
Here it
I'm
is.
not gonna let you pull
4
that
minutes,
bullshit.
mate. 4 minutes of completely
Bro,
unedited material.
Oh my god, John, there's literally an overlay 4 clips. That is me adding.
Okay, so
to the
Kai,
content.
let me go over. If you watch the stream, Kai, listen to me for 1 fucking second, okay?
Oh my god, he's quacking.
Holy
He's quacking.
shit!
He's quacking,
You just
bro.
keep
He's
on
quacking.
talking the whole fucking time.
nigga's
If you're not
quacking,
gonna
bro.
listen to me, then this is completely unproductive.
Yeah,
I mean,
not
it's
playing into
hypocrisy.
that
It's hypocrisy.
How is?
Of course, it's hypocrisy.
Okay, then let's bring up this fucking tukukui fallacy, bro. Even if I was being a hypocrite right now, I would not be wrong about what I said. Let's say that I was being a hypocrite, right? That
Yeah.
doesn't make it wrong about the fact that like Akumu's video or me striking Akumu's video was not illegal.
Doesn't matter if it was
And let me
illegal or
ask
not. You shouldn't have
let me
done
ask
it.
you this, Swan. I have another question for you. Let me
Okay.
ask you this: do you think me? Let's say that I did break terms of service. Is that illegal?
No, because you're breaking the terms of service of the individual company. That's not legal.
Okay. Then if me breaking the terms of service is also not illegal, and you cannot prove that me striking Akumu's video down is illegal, then what is the fucking point of trying to say that this is a false flag if you cannot
Because-
even prove that it is a false
Because
flag?
no one can prove this. No one can prove it unless it goes to
Okay,
court.
then
Do you want to talk about the other like hundreds of videos about why people are like about fair use and about people talking about false strikes? Are all of those completely irrelevant and stupid now? Should no one make a video
Yes.
about people false? No one should make a video.
Irrelevant
You should go to
because
court
none of
first.
these people
So
can
no one should
prove
make a video.
If you cannot prove that something
So,
is
no,
fair,
okay.
you can give
Thank
your
you- thank you for-
take.
thank you for
are
admitting it.
completely free to give what you think is fair use. But if you cannot prove that it is fair use, then there's no reason. Like, what the fuck are we mad
You're
about?
incredibly dishonest. We're mad about it. We're mad about it because we're. This is the most intellectually dishonest conversation. You have not come into here with good faith, constantly trying to fucking nitpick over little things that have absolutely nothing to do with the point at hand, saying nothing is relevant, nothing is this, nothing that. Dude, honestly, I think I'm done here. There is nothing that you've said here that everyone knows. Everyone knows exactly who you are after this. Everyone knows exactly what you've said. Everyone knows exactly who you are. There is nothing that's going to be gained from talking to you anymore. You are incredibly intellectually dishonest. I've never ever had a conversation with someone so dishonest as this. This is the most unproductive, stupid conversation I have ever had in my life. And I wish you luck in your future endeavors. I can't wait until that counter notification gets approved and Akumi's video comes back up. I invite you to sue him, but you won't do that because you know you'll lose. Have a good day, mate.
Yeah, this wasn't a great moment for either of them, but obviously, the one that looked a little less foolish was Sir Swanathan. All he was trying to do was explain to Kai his lack of understanding in copyright and how him being a commentary channel that uses other people's content in their own video while having the nerve to copyright someone else for doing the same thing with their content is hypocritical and really stupid. This now just sounds like a repeat of the Suzy Lou situation, though with a lot more foolishness, and also with another situation that I would like to talk about later. But anyway, after this, it would seem that John has reclaimed some semblance of dignity and respect back from the community, especially after Kai's persistent need to attempt to dunk on people, but just shows everyone his insecurities and his horrible way of accepting criticism. But yet again, we come back to even more familiar ground when John decided to get involved in another relationship that he had no business being in, and proceeds to try to ruin lives. Bro, do you have a partner at all? Like, go find somebody for yourself so you can mind your damn business. This is the latest and the worst situation John has gotten himself into, to be honest, as this is just reinforcement to show how little he wishes to stay out of trouble. especially when it comes to people not in an age range where he should even care. Cammy, who was 18 at the time, was in a relationship with Liz, who was 15 at the time, and while it's only a high school-ish relationship with the age gap, Liz told some of her friends about it, and while they were trying to look out for Liz, in my opinion, the relationship between Cammy and Liz wasn't really bad. Now, I get people want to look out for kids and make sure they're not unknowingly getting into relationships with complete grown-ass adults. I feel like there should be a bit of leeway when your age ends in teen, but persuaded by her friends, Liz asked the advice of Sir Jonathan Swanathan, which, as by now we all know, was a mistake. And he suggests that she either write a Google Doc anonymously or write a Google Doc and publish it with the help of a friend or two to make it seem more serious. There's really no difference between these two options and basically just gave her the same pill but with a different color coding. Then, when the document was made and published, people who read it and realized that something was off with it were starting to ask questions, which the answers given by John were never straight. He was asked if he was involved in the creation of the document, and what does he say?
My name was brought up here a few times. What's going on?
Were you involved in the creation of a document against Cammy?
That's a yes.
I was not directly involved.
Oh God.
Come to find out, he not only suggested she write a Google Doc or have one written, but he wrote in it too. More than just one of the walkbacks of, oh, I only made small edits to the doc. Minor edits would be grammar and spelling, which Google has that built into its system anyway, so there's no need for him to even do that. Minor edits isn't tone shifting. The original paragraph in this document sounded completely different than the edit John made. The original edit gave more of a feel of, this guy was really sweet and was concerned about my comfort. He made sure I was okay with any and everything before we continued talking about something a bit risque. To the edited portion, he was a monster and used me for his desires, and I felt so unsafe and uncomfortable around him, but I was too scared to do anything about it. See how those sound so drastically and dishonestly different? His other excuse being that he didn't want to fuck this up and gave it to another child who also doesn't really need to be in the situation. Haha yeah was supposedly the one who mainly wrote the document along with Liz, proven false from what I said earlier. John again just didn't want to own up to it, and honestly, since he's done the exact same thing before and clearly hasn't learned his lesson, I am not surprised in any way, shape, or form that it came back to rip a couple feathers off where the sun doesn't shine, and deservedly so. A few things to note here. The Destiny stream is, in my opinion, the most damning thing out of all of this for me. This is where, if not all, his lies fall apart.
Gotcha.
Swan came up with the idea of the document.
Wait, John Swan. Wait, the guy that came in here and said that he wasn't involved at all?
He was just in call. He said that he wasn't involved at all. You ready?
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god. Stop fucking lying.
So maybe you guys are a little bit young, but when the Me Too thing started, the big reason why it was such a big deal was because there were women that for a long time had trouble holding certain men accountable, and nobody would help them. There's nothing they could do about it. But it's not a first resort. The Me Too thing and outing people online, that was supposed to be all other options have failed, instead of this is the very first thing we're going to do to try to ameliorate a situation. So if she wanted the person to stop, I'm guessing it sounds like if you would have messaged him and said hey, stop, it probably would have happened. But it doesn't sound like that was ever communicated, you know?
Yeah.
It's sickeningly sweet, the taste of karma. For everyone else though, not for John. It probably tastes like shit to him. I have some more thoughts when it comes to his interactions with some of his former peers, as I feel like it's the best way to end this whole fiasco. The first homie to discuss is Nicholas Diorio. This man has been a ride or die to John for a long time now. Honestly, the type of friend you'd want, stuck his neck out to help a homie whenever he felt necessary. And when it came time for John to be honest with him, when he needed to know if he was being lied to, on multiple occasions, John just couldn't be upfront. After so many times of being used to help restore the reputation of a friend and fellow commentator while his was being put into question, he ended up having enough and became one of the many to open the door to the behind-the-scenes fallout going on between John and many of his former friends. As unfortunate as this was for Nick, I'm sure he's more than happy to get rid of the parasitic friendship that started to form between the two. The second homie to be affected by John's bull is Boblax. Back during the dream drama, to make that autistic child story a bit more believable, he had used Boblax as a guide to try to make this fictitious kid seem plausible. Autism is a spectrum, so it does affect everyone differently. And sure, it is probably rather easy to assume that an autistic kid is great with tech. But why even go through the trouble to make up this lie? And not only that, but use a friend of yours who's none the wiser to your plans as a reference, or in a sick, twisted way, inspiration for this. Boblax himself even said how horrible he feels knowing that he was used for this. Though, while this is the only thing I can give John credit for, at least he consulted an actual autistic person rather than just assume what autistic people are, like some music artists out there. I would say the next homie here, but I'm just gonna group the commentary community as a whole, as again, through the dream drama, many people that weren't even his closest friends stuck up for him against the Minecraft community. Mostly Dreams, because many people were under the same impression that John couldn't have done the silly trolling because that just wasn't a part of his carefully crafted persona. Like many of his friends, though not as intense, they lost some respect, though of course it was something out of their control, and since then, it's just been a little scratch on their reputations. Now the last homie we're gonna mention is the one who was an accomplice to the last drama. Nah, I definitely didn't forget you, you sneaky bastard. Dr. Skipper was one of John's peers and was another instigator in the Cammy situation. What'd he do? Well, he thought it'd be a wonderful idea to feed into the eventual release of this scathing document of a socially awkward teen being just that by memeing the fuck out of the situation, making cryptic out of context tweets about Cammy, and then when everything came crashing down, he wanted to pretend as if he had no knowledge of what was going on. Look, if you're gonna play stupid games, you shouldn't be surprised at the stupid prizes you end up getting. It's a bit disappointing that he participated in this, and it's only a little worse that no one really mentioned Dr. Skipper's actions except for Willie and Nerdy John. And that makes me think that either no one else considered his involvement that important, or because John fucked up so bad for the umpteenth time, no one noticed the other giant beak poking around where it didn't belong. Well, it's been around 5 months since John last uploaded on his main channel and 4 months with the stream on his second channel. It's been nothing but crickets on his end, and I can only assume that he's either touching some real fully alive grass, or he applied to McDonald's in Cammy's place as Skipper joked about once before. The resounding disappointment from his former fans and peers is probably keeping him far, far away from here. And while he had once said it was his dream job to stay home and edit videos for others while making his own, I'm not sure he'd ever truly be able to do this, as his voice is unique and easy to spot, so a rebrand doesn't seem like it'd work. He had such great potential, but literally could not keep his beak out of places where it did not belong, being dishonest and betraying the persona he made, and also being a horrible friend who put his ego over the friendships he made but didn't value as much. So being a YouTuber is out, but maybe a faceless indie singer? I don't usually do duets with Prey, but this song slaps, so I'll bite. But there's this last little thing I can't leave out, and it comes from the Swan himself. What do you have to say for yourself, Sir Swan?
I hope this can serve as a warning to never trust
Jonathan Swanathan.
And you know what they say. You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Wise words. Now sing, bird.
Let's take a walk, 'cause we're not getting any sleep tonight. Down by the water where they're hanging keep on talking line by line till we get to the other side. Close your eyes, we only talking.
My head's not set for getting through another open night. Those questions I don't wanna deal with at the best of times. Let go of the script, scrap the final page. Oh, I don't know why we bother, man, they're all the same. Let tomorrow wait, let's take a little time. Yeah, don't worry about the daylight, just keep on talking line by line. Cause I don't wanna say goodbye. Close your eyes and keep on talking line by line till we get to the other side. Close your eyes, we're only talking.